All right, y'all. So the first lesson that we're going to do in our new Google Classroom, online, whatever we're doing, is going to be lesson 80. It's operations with scientific notation. And so we're going to be doing two things today. We're going to be multiplying scientific notation, and then we're going to be dividing scientific notations. And so first thing is with example one, and again, I encourage you guys to open your book and follow along as we're going through, because you're going to have your book anyway to do the practice problems. So make sure that you read over the lesson itself, and then we'll go into these examples. And so the first one, you've got to make sure that everything is simplified into scientific notation. So this first number here, we've got to change this to scientific notation, so we're going to have to move that decimal. And so then we're going to have 3 times 10 to the negative third, because our zeros are on the left. And so we've got to have a negative number for that exponent. And then we're going to have to add that to what we already had. And so you know that we add exponents. And so for this one now, we have 3 times 10 to the negative 7th after we've added that up. And then this one, we can't do anything else with it. Like, it's in scientific notation, it's good to go. So we're going to just bring that down. Okay. And so then we are just going to multiply our numbers in the front there. And then we're going to add up all of our exponents that are hooked to these tens. And so we're going to do 3 times 2, and then 10 and negative 7 plus a positive 20. And so your final answer should be 6 times 10. And then when we have negative 7 plus 20, we're going to have 13 on that one. And so that's what you should get for that answer. The second one, we're doing the same thing. We're going to be multiplying these numbers, and we need to get everything in scientific notation, have it simplified down. So first thing, we're going to move these decimals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. So now we have 4 times 10 to the negative 5th, because again, zeros are on the left, so we're going to have a negative exponent there. And remember, that decimal always goes behind that first significant figure. And then we've got to add in what we already had. So we got negative 5 there, so 4 times 10 to the negative 10th. And then this one, our decimal needs to be here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 times 10, and that's a positive 5 on that exponent because the zeros are to the right. So we're going to bring that down. Okay, then multiply our first numbers, 4 times 7. And then these exponents are going to be added together. And so then we have 28 times 10 to the negative 5th. And this right here, actually, you can break this down because it is 28. The decimal goes behind the first significant figure. And so if we were going to do that, then we would have 2.8 times 10 to the negative 4th on this one, because we did move it back one. And so, it was going from the left side over, so we needed to add that in there. And so anyhow, you should have that answer when you get done with it. And so now we're going to go into division, which we've got to do some multiplication with that as well. So let's go over to example 3. All right, so example 3. It's got to be simplified first, and then we'll kind of just take it from there. So this one, we know the decimal has to go behind that first significant figure. So 1, 2, 3. So 1.6 times 10 to the negative third, because our zeros are on that left. And then we are multiplying it by 4 times 10. So decimal goes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the zeros are on the right, so it's going to be a positive. And so now that we have got it in scientific notation, got it simplified down, and then we're going to set it up as a division problem. So 1.6 times 10 to the negative third divided by 4 times 10 to the fifth. And so this one, we're actually going to separate our numbers from our tens with our exponents. So we're going to say 1.6 divided by 4, and then 10 negative third over 10 to a positive 5. And so we're going to put in the calculator 1.6 divided by 4. And so you should get 0.4 for that. And then this one, because we like divided, it brought everything up into the numerator spot. And so we're going to do the same thing with these exponents. So we're going to take this exponent, we're going to move it up, and when it goes over that fraction bar, we remember that the sign changes, so it's going to be a negative 5 now instead of a positive 5. And so now we have a negative 8 there. And because this decimal needs to go over here and we're moving it to the right, 4 times 10 to the first is what we would have. Actually negative 1, because the 0 is to the left. Then we have to add in what we already had there. So your final answer should be 4 times 10 to the negative 9th on that one. All right. And so now example 4, we are going to combine examples 1 and 2 and 3 all together. So multiplication's happening and then division's happening. So we've got to simplify the numerator and the denominators first, and then we're going to finish out by dividing everything. And so let's just work our way through these sets. All right, so this first one, we know the decimal's got to go behind that digit right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be 7 times 10 to the negative fourths, but we already had a negative 23 there, okay? And we'll simplify that in just a second. All right, next one. Decimal needs to go behind that first digit, so 1, 2, 3. So 4 times 10 to a positive 3 because the zeros are to the right, and then we're going to have to add in that exponent that was already there, okay, on the bottom. This needs to have the decimal there, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we got 4 times 10 to the negative 5. And then 7 times 10 to the, let's see, decimal goes here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So positive 6. And so now we just really need to look at that top and add up those exponents before we go any further. So 10 negative 27 and 10 to the 9th over 4 times 10 to the negative 5th and 7 times 10 to the 6th. Okay, so now on top and bottom in the numerator and denominator spot, we've got to multiply first, just like we done in examples 1 and 2. And so we're going to be doing 7 times 4, and then we're also going to be adding up those exponents. Okay, then on the bottom, 4 times 7, and then we're going to add up those exponents again. Okay, so now we have 28 times 10 to the negative 18th and 28 times 10 to the first. All right, so now this one, okay, so now we're just looking at division. So 28 divided by 28 is 1, okay, times 10. And then again, when you divide here, like your number is in the numerator spot, you don't have a denominator anymore. So we just need to take what's in the denominator spot here and bring it up, which now this positive 1 becomes a negative 1. And so now we have a 10 to the negative 19th. And you cannot simplify any further than that. All right, let's do one more of those because there's a lot of steps to that one. All right, so let's simplify the top first. Okay, so we got 2 times 10 to the first, and then we already had a negative 45 there. Okay, then 4 times 10 to the second. Again, we're just moving decimal places when we do this. Then we're going to add in that 20 that was already up top there. And 1 times 10 to the positive 5. And then here we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 times 10 to the negative 4th because zeros are on the left. And then add in what was already there. Okay, and so let's simplify that numerator. All right, so negative 44 up top because positive 1 plus negative 45. And then 4 times 10 to the 22nd over 1 times 10 to the 5th. And then 8 times 10 to the negative 19th. Okay, then multiply your numbers up top. And we're going to add exponents up top. And we remember that whenever we multiply numbers, we add exponents. Okay. All right.
All teachers, if you have refrigerators in your classroom, please make sure you clean them out. Don't leave anything in them. And lunch today is from Hoppers. Yes, Miss Hardwick called Mr. Marshall, and you are having pork today. Just don't forget to clean out your refrigerators. Thank you.
All right, I'm sure y'all wanted to know what we were having for lunch today. But anyway, all right, so 8 divided by 8 is 1 times 10. And then again, we're bringing this up, okay? And so that's going to make it a positive 14. And so that means that we've got negative, let's see, 8 as our exponent on that one. And so there's nothing that can be simplified any further than that on that one. And so now you guys, like I said, take any notes that you want to, or you've got this video so you can go back and forth and look at it and pause it if you need to. But you need to do practice problems A and B. And then after you get done with those, send me a picture of your practice problems and any notes that you took, and also reach out to me if you've got any questions about anything, and we can go over it. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.